tattvas are the elements of nature. Sankhya believes there are 25 elements in nature. One is the Purusha. Purusha is the conscious, super conscious self. The Paramatma, what is also called Paramatma. In Vedanta, it's called Brahma. In Tantra, it's called Shiva. There are different names, but for the same thing. It's also called Atma. It's also called Paramatma. It's also called that. Tat Tvamasi, that thou art. The famous Mahavakya you must have heard. So which is beyond all attributes. So that is Purusha. Then you have the Prakriti part, which is dynamic. Purusha is absolute. No action in Purusha, but Prakriti is dynamic. It has the three gunas. Prakriti is called Maya in Vedanta, and in Tantra it is called Shakti. Shiva Shakti. So but more or less it performs the same action. So it's the Prakriti which creates the whole world with these three gunas. There are three gunas, Sattva, Raj and Tama gunas. It's whatever you see in the universe is a combination of these three gunas. They combine in different things, and each one, whether we are living beings or non-living beings, we all have these three gunas, and these three gunas keep changing, their ratio keeps changing, and because of this our personalities are different. You may be having more Sattva guna, I may be having more Raja guna, somebody else may be having more Tama guna. So Tama guna person will be most of the time slow, lethargic, most of the time sleepy, make you also sleepy. And Raja guna will be all the time very active, very infectious, make you also restless. When you go to close to interact with a Rajaguna person even for 10 minutes, the person will make you, at the end of it, you'll feel restless. And if you interact with the Tamaguna person for 10 minutes, at the end of the time, you'll feel lazy, you feel like sleeping, you'll feel like as if somebody has given you some kind of an injection. So Tamaguna also. And if you person who has more of Sattva guna, if you go to that person and speak to that person for 10 minutes, you will feel such great peace of mind, just being, even if you don't speak to that person, just sitting next to that person is going to make you so peaceful. So these are the three different types of gunas I've told you, and it's important to understand the gunas because that's how our personality is made. And the good, although we are in the clutches of the gunas, the good news is that we can override these gunas, we can change our profile. If I'm very tamasic, very lazy kind of a person right now, I don't have to be lazy all my life. I'm not, caught into that. I can always change the combination. I can increase Raja and Sattva guna in me. So that's the good news. So these tattvas, if you understand, and then of course, then we have this. It explains what is buddhi, intellect, mahat, ahankara. Ahankara is ego. This is the beginning of our problem. Ahankara creates all the problems. That's how it begins. Then from ahankara comes the mind. So you have to understand what the mind is. All the problems are created by this antakarana, buddhi, mind, and ahankara. These three are the problem creators. One simple reason, I'll tell you why. Because when you're awake, you may be jealous of your neighbor, you may be jealous of your competitor, you may be jealous of your colleague, or you may like also somebody, you may dislike somebody. All these things, hatred, love, hatred, all these things are there so long as there is this antakarana, the ego. So, but why do we say this is the problem? This is the problem because when you go to deep sleep, do you have any enemy when you are in deep sleep? When you are awake, you may be thinking you are the something minister, or you are king of a particular country or something, very proud of your culture, very proud of your religion and everything. You think I am a great Vedantist, I am a great this, but what happens in deep sleep? Everything goes there because the ahankara, the mind, becomes almost zero during deep sleep. So that's why it is inferred that it's because of that, it's the ahankara that is creating the problem. So you should know who is creating the problem, and then we can find a solution to that. And all these techniques and other things and discussions are there only to make the mind quiet. In the Yoga Sutram, the second sutra defines yoga as yoga chitta vritti nirodha. What is yoga? Because all the time on a mind there are these fluctuations going on all the time. Our minds keeps reacting to external stimuli, and that's because of that. If the stimuli is good, we feel happy. If it is disturbing, we get disturbed, and there's no end. The stimuli is unlimited, and that keeps bothering us all the time, and even in sleep that it troubles us in the form of dreams and such things. So to achieve yoga, what do you have to do? This wavering mind has to be quieted. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha. And that they give some techniques. Yoga gives its own methods of doing it. Sankhya gives its own methods. Vedanta gives its own methods. Jainas give their own methods. Buddhists give their own methods. So everybody, the methods they try to give differently. That's fine with us. That's no problem. But everybody is trying to make the mind quiet. The Indian, whether it is the Astik or Nastik darshanas, they all deal with the mind. It's all understanding. It's the psychology, human psychology. Because mind is the one that binds us, the mind is the one that liberates us. It's the bridge, it can take us both ways. So that's the beauty. So we have to understand the mind, and that's why all these things are written. It's, believe me, all these philosophies deal with the mind, how to quieten the mind. Ultimately, they deal with that. Yoga Vashishta is a fairly well-known text written by Valmiki, and believe me, 24,000 verses. They all analyze the mind. No book in this world analyzes the mind so much. Those who are doing psychology, those who learn, okay, it's nice to learn Freud and Jung and the behaviorists and others. Fine, I'm not against that. But if you really want to get the grasp of what mind is, you must read these texts, the Yoga Vashishta, Upanishads, Gita. All these things are what? Gita is what? It's all about the mind. Arjuna is disturbed. Krishna is just trying to, put his mind back into balance. That's all. Those 700 verses, what are they for? 18 chapters just to make Arjuna see properly. Because if the mind is disturbed, all our decisions will be wrong. All decisions that we take will be wrong. Only a true yogi can take the right decision.